So I went to Ireland. It's an island off the coast of the Britons. I think it's like kind of close to Scotland. Whatever those places may be. I'm very inexperienced to that, but it was beautiful. It was a lot of fun. And we'll do a whole little breakdown about that one of these days pretty soon here. Yeah. I got a lot coming up this month, and I'm very excited to roll that all out progressively as time goes on. But I do want to say, coming up soon, date not yet set, coming up soon, we will be doing a coffee-thon. For fun! And for seeing me get exhausted. Because that's always what happens. I can't promise that, like, it'll be 24 hours, because I can't make it 24 hours anymore. I just can't. I'm a sleepy little shadow sometimes. It's been so strange not chilling. Yeah, what have y'all been up to? Tell me what you've been up to. Like, it means the world to me that you spend your evenings here hanging out with us in the haunted home. So, what do you do when you're not here? Is that a little conceited to ask? I feel like it is. But there's so many great streamers out there you could hang out with, and I hope y'all found some really cool ones. Maybe you can introduce me to some that you might have discovered in my absence, huh? Yeah. So, tonight, we are playing Dear Esther. The Landmark Edition, which I think is they just updated to Unity, but overall it's basically the same game, and it's just better graphics, better controls, etc. I have been, I've had this on the short list for a little while there, but that short list ends up being pretty long when a whole bunch of stuff pops up, you know? And it's been requested quite a lot recently. I don't know why recently has been such a specific thing, but I think after we played, what was the one with the weird house that we had to, like, climb up to the top and unlock all the doors? It wasn't really a scary game, but it was a lot of fun. This girl going back home to this house that they just kind of kept building on top of. But after we played that, a lot of people in chat were like, hey, you should do this one next. So here we are. We're doing this one next. Edith Finch. Edith Finch. Edith Finch. Thank you so much, Ath. I appreciate that. You've been mainlining circles. Just straight into the carotid artery. Just... What does that do to the body? I am curious to know. Like... Is that a hallucinogenic? Is it an upper, a downer, a popper, a fizzer, a wheeler and dealer? What do drugs do? A psychedelic? It's probably a psychedelic. Knowing circles, they're probably a psychedelic, right? You've lost 99% of your brain mass. That's impressive. That you're still here talking. Incredible. Science is amazing. Got work done on your cars you've been putting off, been way too productive. Oh no! Does that mean I'm a source of unproductivity? Am I stopping you from doing progressive things with your life? Because I might have to sit you down and have a conversation about prioritizing. I do this for fun. I hope you are only here for fun too. Been lurking in Gweenie's attic. Hell yeah. I do that too sometimes. It's cozy up there. You should stop by and say hi. It's a big attic. It's gigantic. You can fit like 2 full city blocks in there. Your evenings are being lazy. You know what? That's valid. Most of my evenings are lazy too. Except lately. Big stuff has been kind of chewing up my evenings. But it's a good thing, and y'all be finding out about it pretty soon. You punched your card boss. Here for your shift. Well, don't punch your card boss. I don't think they did anything wrong. Punch your card boss's boss and tell them that they're an asshole. Yeah, okay. I don't know where I was going with that bit. We had a tornado in town. Round 2 coming up. Hey, Icor, seek shelter. Don't... Like, you can pull me up on the cell phone. I don't know if 4G service will go out when the tornado hits, but, like... You should be somewhere safe, please. I'm just as confused, Cranky. Don't worry about it. Okay. Dear Esther, I'm writing to you today to tell you that these cliffs are quite beautiful, And I don't really know what to expect when we're getting into this. So, let's begin. With the lighthouse. Should we have the director's commentary on? No, we definitely should not. Not on our first playthrough.
Dear Esther, I sometimes feel as if I've given birth to this island. Somewhere between the longitude and latitude,
what hips do you have?
Up, and it beached remotely here. No matter how hard I correlate, it remains a singularity, an alpha point in my life that refuses all hypothesis. I return each time leaving fresh markers that I hope, in the full glare of my hopelessness, will have blossomed into fresh insight in the interim.
What does Esther have to do with that? Ooh, pretty. Oh, I love this. There's like some singing going on in the background. Ah! Lighthouse. Jump scared by a lighthouse. Oh boy. Wow, alright. I am someone who is easily enamored by the ocean, I won't lie. It is one of the most beautiful forces of nature on this planet to me. That and deep forests, deep dark forests those are my happy places. So, you plant me next to the ocean, underneath a lighthouse, I'm cozy. I don't need to go anywhere or do anything else. I will just subsist there for the rest of eternity. Like, for real, this is a very pretty, like, everything's very pretty. It's, God, impressive. Okay. Well, oh! Just whip out my flashlight, Dick. No warning. I didn't push a button! It just popped on. So, I mean, points to convenience. What is this? European Food and Goods Convention. Wolverhampton, 1978. What does that say at the top? Turn right at put off these on left. What? Okay. Someone. Ooh. Oh. Alright. This like supposed to be molecules? This one's just hi upside down. Okay. Goddamn science nerds breaking into places and graffitiing them up. This place was supposed to be beautiful. Can't even get up to the lighthouse because the stairs are broke. Can I do something? I want to go up there. Can't give me a lighthouse and not let me go up the spiral staircase up to the lamp. I know I'm a shadow, but like I'm also kind of like enamored by lights. We're not going to talk about that. Let's just go. Fuck! God damn it! I'm back, y'all. I'm back. It's good to see you. I found more blue paint. Someone just, like, pulled a Jackson Pollock in here. Okay. I'm glad to be back. Darn it. Okay. So what was I saying before I got seagulled to the face? I was saying something about because I'm a shadow, I still have an affinity for the light. Yeah, that's the thing. Is that a UV light? By all appearances, no. The paint just kind of already glows in the dark. It's phosphorescent or radioactive. I don't know. Let's go this way first before we go up the hill. I feel like up is progress. This way is probably not progress. Unless I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a shadow. Hi. No sprinting. Oh, there's a cave over there. You know what? I guess we're just gonna go towards the cave. That's what we're gonna do. That is exactly what we're gonna do. Bones. Gonna make our way across this pretty ocean. Gonna try to not get caught up in the surf when high tide approaches. That means this must be morning that we're in right now, right? Because if this were evening, this tide would be hitting these rock walls. At least I hope. Hey, here's one thing they don't tell you about the ocean when they're romanticizing how pretty it is in games and movies. It's stinky. It's pretty, but it's really stinky.
Those islands in the distance, I am sure, are nothing more than relics of another time.
What
Sleeping
islands?
giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming.
Oh, okay.
I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
I don't know how much, like, commentary I should be making over him while he speaks. I feel like none. Okay, so there's some stairs where we could continue on this way. Like, you'll get ocean stink in scotches? I don't know if I don't really drink liquors, so... I mean, that does not say I haven't had scotch, but... Oh. Oh. A Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci. Okay. Interesting. This is the Gulf of Mexico during Sargasso season. I don't know what that is, but okie dokie, I'll do it. Will I regret it? Probably.
Dear Esther, I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean, as shallow and unoccupied as this bay.
Wow.
A listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves. My forehead a mount. This aerial will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still trample.
Am I supposed to be here?
I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
Wow. That's called depression. And if you think this bay is featureless and this ocean is vast and empty, and that you're comparing yourself to these incredible wonders, my guy, I can't help you. Not to be like narrowing or reductive of the message that this game will probably be making in time. I find beaches fascinating. I love like tidal pools. And like all the little creatures that are in tidal pools. Just endlessly fascinating to me. No, you're fascinating. Bunch of Sargasso seaweed that floats ashore and ends up decaying. Oh, lovely. Oh. That's not a natural formation. Oh. Okay, bit of a train, bit of a car. Not much else happening here. Sweeweed. I know words and things. I'm good at talking. Okay, so that was a long and narrow beach walk to go look at a couple of car doors and an axle or a drivetrain. And a Fibonacci sequence. Don't forget about that. That's important. There's no sprint in this game, at least that I've discovered. What? What was that? I'm sorry. That was weird. I hit control and my character started going backwards. So I don't have a sprint button, but I have a reverse button. So that's a thing. Okay. Probably just a little bug or something. Okay, so we've walked the beach, now we'll go up the stairs. Blow all of the sand in my face. I love how, like, Febreze and Glade and, like, other scent-based organizations will sell you on, like, Ocean Breeze, fresh, crisp, refreshing. No. No. If you want your clothes to smell like Ocean Breeze, they smell like the decay of many small animals. Do you want a bunch of brine shrimp?
The mount is clearly the focal point of this landscape.
Rude. I was
It
talking.
almost appears so well placed as to be artificial. I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here. Was this island formed during the moment of impact? When we were torn loose from our moorings, and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders? Did it first break surface then?
Did this island tear us asunder from society? Is that what you're saying? I'm a little confused. I do like the smell of the ocean, don't get me wrong. But if we're being honest here, we should always be honest. Ocean is stinky. It's bad, it has bad smell.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Oh. Well, that's... Is that true? Is that real? That's interesting and depressing as hell. I'm not selling it, Cranky? You say I'm not selling it? I'm not selling the ocean? I don't have the sales skills to sell an ocean. Is that paintbrush or is it honeysuckle? I think that's paintbrush. You gonna talk about this hinge? No? Just gonna walk past it? Okay. Why are there two constantly
diverging people, those
paths?
shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions?
I'm not gonna bounce off his commentary because it still doesn't make much sense to me yet. But I am noticing that this island is littered. People have been littering this island like crazy. Who's here that is throwing down magazines and tin cans and scraps of newspaper? Or maybe it's actually just drifting in on the ocean wind. Because that is absolutely a thing. Icor. Getting me a little excited there. You should definitely hit me up when you got that ready to go, because that sounds amazing. Okay. Now, from what I understand, this is kind of like the end-all, be-all of walking sim games. Like, I don't think there's puzzles in this game. I don't think there's monsters or enemies. I could be wrong. But everything I understand is this is walking and he narrates to you.
I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us,
Okay, I feel that.
passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Responsibility had made him old. Ugh. Okay, there's a cave there. And I hear a radio. But I also want to see if I can walk this river walk. Because I can't go back up that. Oh, there's actually a path there now. Okay. Game has declined me from being able to backtrack up there. For some reason. Unless I am clever. And I can tell the game to go fuck itself. Ha 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 ha! I win. Backtracking achievement unlocked. Let's do it again. Whee! Okay, there we go. Dylan! Alright, so there's a boat over there. So am I Esther or am I dear narrator in this? Or am I just some dude on an island who picked up a bunch of letters and I'm reading it as I just idly walk across this island? It's an abandoned island.
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
My guy, you are so full of... Is it idioms? Analogies? Analogies. You are so full of analogies that you could just do away with English entirely as a language, and you may as well narrate to me in Romulan, and I'd have just an easier time of understanding what exactly the message you are trying to convey is. Hi, Munsnake. Oh, well, hey, there's our jump scare seagull again. Getting ready to position itself into somewhere new and scary so it can give me a small heart attack again. The game is low. Is that a little better? Guess we'll find out next time it narrates. Thank you for letting me know, Guardian. Wimdy. Huh. Sad strings. To accompany my somber stroll through the valley. Chicken! Right before I get attacked by a bear.
He still maintains he wasn't drunk, but tired. I can't make the judgment or the distinction anymore. I was drunk when I landed here, and tired too. I walked up the cliff path in near darkness and camped in the bay where the trawler lies beached. It was only at dawn that I saw the bothy and decided to make my temporary lodgings there.
Ah.
I was expecting just the aerial and a transmitter stashed in a weatherproof box somewhere on the mount. It had an air of uneasy permanence to it. Like all the other buildings here, erosion seems to have evaded it completely.
I don't know about that. Erosion's hit apparently everything. Unless just this specific island is... I don't know. Maybe I have been here a long, long time. Or maybe I'm new here and it's been a long, long time since any of these yahoos have been here. Alright, well, there's my car door and the drivetrain. So, you know, nice circular motion with this game going. Probably climb to the top of this hill if we really want to. Progress tells me go that way. Instinct to climb in video games tells me to not go that way, but go this way instead. So let's see what I can get away with. Gonna do the sideways thing? Nope, okay. That's blocking me. This is also blocking me. Game is physically walling me from being able to go up here. Fine. Fine, be that way. We'll follow the walking simulator path game. We shall do that thing. I know it's been a couple weeks since I played anything. The last games we played were some pretty good scary games. So I was just gonna ease myself back into the scary game scene here with Dear Esther. And decided to start me off with a seagull jump scare. You know, just a little something, an amuse-bouche, to tell me that this is in fact a horror game. I should be prepared for my eyeballs to be plucked out by the seagulls and my liver to have to roll a stone up a mountain for eternity. Yeah, things like that. We're gonna bear attack when we least expect it. Oh. Game says go forward, but you're not gonna go back. Well, we'll see about that game. I'll beat you before it at this. Oh, well, I guess that's that.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay. Ah. Nice little shipwreck down here. Let's go say hello to that. Something blinking off to the distance here. It sounds like a few of you are about to endure some spooky weather. Please be safe. You gotta turn me off and go shelter. You should do that thing. I don't deserve priority over your life. Okay, well, this at least explains where all of the refuse and rubbish come from on the rest of this island. Big ol' cargo ship full of everybody's missing Amazon packages. I gotta turn it down just a touch here. It's very loud for me. Hopefully it shouldn't affect y'all too much. The piano is lovely though. Good touch. Adds some serious dramatic effect to dramatic shipwreck. I can't climb on. Let me climb on the damn ship! There's a buoy out there. Oh boy. Yes, Dylan, you should keep your head on a swivel. And neither did he eat nor drink. Okay.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Huh. Shipwreck Bay over here, my goodness. Is this where I initially landed when I got here? I have never in my life or afterlife encountered a tornado or a hurricane firsthand. Concept scares the hell out of me. I see the destruction and damage they reap, and I don't know why people want to live in places where those happen, but people do, so, you know. Thundery. You are a braver being than I am, Icor. Ombra, hello. No, I'd rather not be shipped, please. I am happy solo. You don't need to write slash fiction about me. She can get really awkward. Solving puzzles for the past few hours. Nice. Sounds cozy. What are we talking here? Crossword, Sudoku, 2042.
I wonder if Donnelly's voyage here was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him, they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean. Into oblivion.
Hey, Oblivion ain't so bad. I've never played it, but, you know, those who have never stop talking about it. So it must be good. He sounds like Scene Bean. Sean Bond. Ah, trash bag kites are the best. Yeah, nature be scary as fuck. And it's only getting scarier. Heck yeah. Sounds like fun, Logus. Absolutely. Is this a way to go? Because there's two paths. I always get really anxious when a game gives me two paths and, you know, I gotta choose one of them. But this game seems to be like, here's a path that loops back on itself so you don't actually miss anything. But what happens if I chose poorly? Never mind, this is where I entered. So I'm a dingus. That's okay. This is known. Absolutely no news there. So my anxieties were, unfounded, ultimately, and I can cancel my therapist appointment. Yay! Now I have to walk all the way over here, though. Did I already do that? Or is there another path? There's probably another path, right? So that one ended at the cliff. I thought this one ended over by that... I thought this one ended over by that, that weird... sand doodle. There's probably another path right here. Let's see. Yas!
And you visited me in the hospital.
Ooh, sucks.
After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Jesus. Okay, well, that was actually probably the most straightforward sentence you've given us this entire time. Apart from the whole thing about your kidney stones being islands. That still doesn't make sense. Am I standing on your kidney stone right now? Because I don't like that. I don't want that for me. Logus! You want the Wheel of Fate? You got it! Spin it to win it! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Some stretches. It's been a minute since we've done these! Okay, well, y'all know the drill. Join me. We're gonna do some spooky yoga together, okay? So just mimic what I do. Exactly. Precisely as I do it. Don't get ahead of us now. Alright, here we go. Arms out. And push back. Ah! 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 That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay, now this one's got like a T-pose. So arms out. Okay? Arms out like you're doing a T-pose. And neck up. And then I guess we're going to do a dance about it. All right. We're gonna do a little dance. It's been a little while since we did a little dance. Hungy, hello. All right. What's one we haven't done for a minute? Here we go. All right. Shall we resume some Dear Esther? Esther Landmark Edition? And be narrated to by this guy who made an island out of his kidney stones, and I don't really know what to make of that whole sentence, honestly. But here we go. Still windy. Pretty. And honestly, straight up just looks like I'm out in nature. Ultimate walking simulator game right here. Walk, get talked to, walk a little more, get talked to, look at some pretty things, get talked to. And they added a director's cut, a director's commentary to this, because it needed more talking.
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen?
Jesus.
Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a
Can I go-
scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever.
Can I? Should I? Oh my god, I can!
Come back.
Okay. Alright. Oh, alright. So... that is an option. That is an option of things that you can do. But apparently I'm dragged kicking and screaming back from hell to continue to walk this island. Got it. Rashi playing the Souls-like angle over here, and I agree. Can't let me jump or dodge roll or even, like, move a little faster. Yeah. Talking better be real good.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there.
Okay.
I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
You know, that's a game I have that I'm a little scared to get into. Amnesia. Did I hear, like, sheep braying at this? Okay. So maybe it's not as nefarious as I thought it was. It's not a heroin/kidney slicing den. It's just sheep surgery place. Got it. Oh my god, Icor. God, even the concept of it raises my anxiety. It'll happen, it'll happen. I just gotta be emotionally ready for that kind of a thing. Arashi, you're not wrong. Especially when, like, scenically, I can look in 360 degrees and it's just beauty all around me. It's similar to a game like Scorn, which is like 95% art, 5% puzzles, and not even the best puzzles. But I absolutely love Scorn so much. And then there have been other games that are games as art as medium. Or, I mean, sorry. Games as medium of art rather than as a game. I can't even remember the title of it off the top of my head. I just remember that it won a BAFTA. And it seems in my experience, any game that wins a BAFTA is usually a bit more of a dredge than anything else.
It was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it.
Oof.
There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Sorry to have laughed at your death, bro. And again, I'm being a little bit, like, sassy with this game, where I probably shouldn't be so sassy about it. 'Cause, again, it is very beautiful, and it is trying to express a story to me, which is growing on me. It's still pretty vague, but it's growing on me. Still trying to figure out the whole kidney stones thing, but that's more of a me thing. What is a BAFTA? Well, you're not going to get an unbiased opinion from me, because to me a BAFTA is an award given to artistic games that really, it feels more like just giving a ribbon to a turd and calling it art. I'm sorry, there's a lot of games that have received BAFTA awards and like gotten the attention of that are not that. My opinion is definitely askew and biased. So please don't put too much stake in my opinion of BAFTA awards. That is fair and true, Cranky, and depending on who you ask. Oh, what is that? Is that a lantern? Is that a dude holding a lantern? Is that a post holding a lantern? I don't know. I'm glad I'm not the only one who has that opinion, but again, there have been some very valid games and artistic expression.
A trestle table we spread wallpaper on in our first home. A folding chair. I laughed at you for bringing camping in the lakes. I was uncomfortable later and you laughed then. This diary, the bed with the broken springs. Once asleep you have to remember not to dream. A change of clothes. Donnelly's book, stolen from Edinburgh Library on the way here. I will burn them all on the last morning and make an aerial of my own.
Okay, but like I said, occasionally there's some commentary that resonates with me. I hear that fireplace. Like I said, I was recently on a vacation to Ireland. It was very beautiful, etc. But the B&B we were staying at, we were rooming with 3 other friends. Well, I guess so. There were 5 of us in total. My partner and I'm including his 1 unit. Anyways, our bed was so squeaky and uncomfortable that if you so much as dreamed, it would yell at you and you'd have to roll over and it would hurt so much. You son of a bitch! You didn't get me as bad that time. You didn't get me that time. But you tried. Fucking seagull. Chicken! No, it was a seagull, not a chicken. Chickens don't fly like that. Tuh. But anyways, I think I was like ranting about BAFTAs before. I don't know, some people really, really like Heavy Rain. And that's valid. Like, it's not my place to shit on things that people like. It really isn't. My opinion is ass. Don't... I'm not saying that I have a low opinion of myself and my other opinions. I'm just saying, like, don't put any stake in my opinions over the things that you like as well. Anyways, we're gonna go take a real quick ad break, and when we get back, we'll continue our journey of Dear Esther, and I'll see you soon. Okay. Oh, remember, don't buy anything. Okay, don't buy anything. Step away for a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you didn't buy anything, because boy howdy would that upset me greatly. Anyways, yeah, let's get back to Dear Esther. And Dylan, by the way, thank you for the Prime resub. I appreciate you, friend. That was very kind of you. Yeah. So, I think we were talking about BAFTA games and how you'll probably never see me play one on this channel. BAFTA award-winning games. That's okay. Unless this is one, and then I will immediately have to eat my hat. Oh boy. Bail notice. Bail notice, okay. What? Bail notice. Who keeps drawing these drawings on the walls, and why? Why would you need a bail notice on this island? Why does this island even have a prison? By the way, this is the house that's like on the cover art of this game. Just for everybody's awareness. So we must be at least like officially halfway through, right? Guardian, thank you. I appreciate you, friend. It's very kind of you. Okay. So, guess we'll start working our way down the hill and see where this goes. Which, by the way, while we were on break, the wind, I gotta talk over the wind! While we were on break, I already got a couple achievements in this game, for what those are worth. The first one is complete the lighthouse chapter, which only 52% of people have done. So that means 52% of these people who've bought this game picked it up and went, nah, I'm good, and just never finished playing it from there. So, okay, valid. Not every game is for everybody. That's okay. And then the second achievement that I have unlocked.
What to make of Donnelly? The laudanum.
It's getting interrupted by this guy constantly.
It is clearly not how he began, but I've been unable to discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, a drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine and the cheap fermentation of yeast.
So alcoholism, ha ha ha, I get it. Anyways, what was I gonna say? The other achievement is to throw yourself off a cliff or into that hole that I fell into, of which 29% of players have done. So, what my takeaway is half the people who pick up this game put it down and never pick it back up again, before even completing the first chapter, and then another third of the people who have gone even that far throw themselves off a cliff. Hi, Zed. Hi, Zed. Thank you. Glad to be back.
They found Jakobsen in early spring.
Jakobsen?
The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot. But he is proving an unreliable witness.
Jeez. The brain cell has been active. Well, continue to work it, friend. I've told y'all up front what I am. I am a shadow. I am simply a shadow who has crossed over the veil and made a deal with a corporeal being to be tethered to it so that I can remain here and hang out with y'all and play games and learn about pop culture and sing WAP by Cardi B. Those are my mainstays. Those are my anchors. What? I always get a kick out of anytime someone tries to tie me down to your known lore and what folklore. What is what are the creatures? What is Bigfoot? What is Bigfoot and Mothman? What are they called again? Cryptids. When one of y'all try to identify me as a cryptid of something you know and that have already conceived in your lives, yeah, it won't work that way. I mean, part of my deal is that I collect souls while I'm here that have wandered and...
Down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected.
Ooh.
The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Shit, that's... ooh. To injure yourself that bad while alone out here and all this, that's fucking rough. I mean, it is a journal, so who's reading it? Am I the person wandering around reading the journal? Probably. The journal person is probably not alive after that instance, or if they are, they're bedridden, and I have their journal, ha ha hee hee. Anyways, yeah, my whole deal is that part of while I'm here, I have to collect wayward souls that are too scared to cross over the veil. And y'all are helping me with that every time you do a redeem. You know, throw me some bones, would ya? These are downsies. Oh! That works. Apparently I broke my femur.
Donnelly did not pass through the cave. From here on in, his guidance, unreliable as it is gone from me. I understand now that it is between the two of us, and whatever correspondence can be drawn from the wet rocks.
This is where I die, I guess. Or somehow I'm fine. And there was a whole path. Oh, somebody lit a candle for me. That's nice. Wow, I literally landed and I'm like, I'm fine. That's fortunate and incredible. Oh no, my flashlight. Who lit me a candle or two? That's incredible. Who did this? Tidal pools. That's totally okay, Arashi. And the thing is like, I've said before, how deep does this go? Should I risk it? Okay, it's fine. It's warm, actually. It's soothing. I have a bit of an affinity for walking sims. I really enjoy them. I enjoy narratives, I enjoy stories, I enjoy people using this medium as a way of teaching and expressing things that other mediums would not be as impactful. You could read a book about this. You could watch a show about this or a movie about this. And those are very valid. But there's a level of immersion that video games give that you absorb so much more than you do reading books or movies. You really do. This isn't me knocking on them as a medium. I love books. I love movies. But I especially love video games because the fact that you have to interact with them, the fact that you are constantly living this experience that people are putting in front of you embeds it into you in a way that books and movies just don't. And the creativity that goes into these scenes, these visages before us, handcrafted. I love, deeply love. I'm apparently crouched, too, so I don't hit my head on the spikes. What did I say? When in corporeal life am I ever going to get to experience this? Like, I know this isn't as grand as experiencing it in real life. It's breathtaking to see something that is like this in real life. But to do that, I would have to, 1, go to a place where this is. 2, be certified for cave diving to this extent, or have a guide or something. And that's a big process. And it would certainly cost a lot more time and energy than $15 would. I don't even know how much I paid for this game. I might have got it for free. I don't know. But to be able to handcraft a beautiful scene like this and share it with everybody and do it more justice than a photograph can do. And this! Okay? Like, fuck, it's beautiful. Spooky
I saw
and
him sat by the side of the road,
full of an interrupting
waiting
man.
for you to be cut out of the wreckage. The car looked like it had been dropped from a great height. The guts of the engine spilled over the tarmac, like water underground.
And Icor says these are the sorts of games that VR needs more of, and 100% agree. 1,000% agree. I have been tentatively watching the VR market for a while now. Looking for, you know, a good headset for good experience. I had an HTC Vive headset. And it was great. Resolution was wonderful. Being able to interact with my friends during the pandemic through VR was astounding. Great way to spend a pandemic, by the way. But I could only ever do it for like 2 or 3 hours at a time, no matter how much I did it. I could only do it for 2 or 3 hours at a time before my nose would really start to hurt, and like before I kind of got like this whooshy nausea. And I know I'm not the only one to experience that. That's actually pretty common. For most people it goes away, and it definitely got milder over time for me. But like, yeah. I am still tentatively looking for new things on the market so that I might be able to get back into the whole VR scene again. And there's a couple headsets that kind of have my hopes up. I'm not really gonna, like, advertise name drop on stream. But hopefully within the next year or so I'll be able to kind of jump back into that whole thing. Ciern, hello! Also, Graphigato, hello! It's good to see you all. Alright, I think we're supposed to jump into this title pool. Once again, in Geronimo! Ah. Okay, we're just down here now. This is where we live. I try to hop in the water before and I start to drown, but I can spend all the time in the world down here, apparently. How long can I spend down here before it tells me that I die? This is actually really beautiful unto itself. Like, I really like this. Immersion. I'm really just doing great under here, aren't I?
Chicken!
Still not a chicken. Why does it keep... What? It's supposed to be randomized of different sounds and things. Why does that keep redeeming chicken on me? I don't need to hold my breath. I don't have lungs. Icor, how dare you? I mean, you're right, Arashi. You are right. But it leads me to believe that something's bugging. Ooh. Slightly, almost 3D mushrooms. They're mushrooms only if you look at them from not a top-down perspective. Now here's the thing. I was talking earlier about how, like, my happy places are, like, by the ocean and in deep forests. I would love so much to explore a cave system like this. Where I grew up in many a lifetime ago, in a whimsical and mysterious and albeit not too wonderful land known as Utah, there is a famous cave there that actually does offer tours because you can walk through it. It's nothing like this, obviously, but it's called Timpanogos Cave. And it is beautiful. It is really beautiful. Honestly, it is. Utah. Yes. Yep, close. But that was kind of like the first time I really got enamored by, like, this sort of thing. But the greater part of me is way too terrified of, I don't know, the dangers of spelunking. Should I jump down to that other tidal pool, or should I continue? We've jumped enough tidal pools. Let's continue. The land of the inversions. Yeah, you're right. Whew. Hey, funny story about that. I used to have really bad seasonal allergies. Like, really bad. And then I moved away from that magical, mediocre, not-so-wonderful place called Utah, where air quality went way up, and even though pollen count also went way up, I don't have seasonal allergies anymore. Isn't that weird? Funny how pollution do that thing, huh? For those who don't know, inversion is, well, it's mostly referred to when clouds stay at a low level, but in the circumstance of, valleys...
My own death throes. The infection in my leg is an oil rig that dredges black muck up from deep inside my bones. I swallow fistfuls of diazepam and paracetamol to stay conscious. The pain flows through me like an underground sea.
Oh. Probably should have amputated that son of a bitch. Anyways. Yeah, so... Utah, the Salt Lake Valley is a valley surrounded on all four sides by mountains. And... what was that? That was a weird effect. Car pollution and oil refinery pollution that occurs in that valley just kind of sits in the air. They're very reliant on really strong winds to carry the pollution over and away from the mountains, or rain to sink the pollution into the ground. So, you know, great options right there. And it's not a complete lie. I do still actually have, like, some seasonal allergies. Like, my eyes will get a little itchy during the high pollen count stuff. But, like, I don't have to take medication anymore. And I used to be, like, popping 2 or 3 pills a day for that shit. Damn it, Arashi, you're right. We should write the mayor a letter. I don't know. This game is giving me too many choices. I don't know if I've missed options, if this is something I don't know how many branches this storyline has, if it even does have those things. So, my method at this point is to just walk in a direction and see what happens. And here we're looking at some really cool basalt? I don't know, some sort of crystalline rock. It's pretty. We'll just go river floating. Where's floating? It's actually really pretty. Oh my god. Rejects! Rejects! Hello everybody. Welcome. Come on in. How's it going? I'm glad you're joining us for this. What were you up to, Rejects? How are you? How's it been, friend? Yeah, so, hi everybody. My name's Eerie. I'm a shadow from beyond the veil, and I play lots of scary games. Tonight's scary game is the pinnacle walking simulator. And one damn seagull that has actually scared me. Damn it. Oh, excuse me, my voice just decided to fail on me there. I'm just so excited to see you all. But yeah, what were you doing? You were playing Void Stranger. Nice. Doing all week. Very puzzly. I have not seen much of that game, but it does look very fun, what I have seen. It's been, I don't know how long it's been. I actually only got this game a couple months ago at the recommendation of everybody who was watching me play Edith Finch, and they're like, boy howdy, that Eerie's really good at walking simulators. You should play the pinnacle walking sim. So here we are. This is Dear Esther. It is a walking simulator game. I walk, I see very beautiful things, I get talked to by a middle-aged man, and then I walk some more, and I get harassed by a seagull, and overall it's actually, I am having fun. It sounds like I'm kind of like diving on it. I'm really not. I actually do enjoy walking simulators. I had a whole rant about it earlier, about how I really appreciate games as a medium for storytelling and expression. Just as long as they're not BAFTA. Certain line reads are randomized and you can't hit every single path on a single road. Oh, okay, cool. So it does have branching, split paths to explore. Alright, neat. Stanley You know what? Damn it, I guess Stanley Parable is a walking simulator. You're right. I would... Yeah, you know, I can't argue it. I think in my mind, I consider it more of like a puzzle game where the paths themselves are the puzzle, but there's no real right or wrong answer to it. You just walk. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And Edith Finch was great. It was whimsical and weird and a little spooky and just all over the place. And I remember I was a shark for like a moment. And then I was a bird. So, yeah, Edith Finch, great game. Or not Edith. Yeah, Edith Finch is a great game, but, what was I saying? This is Dear Esther. Yeah, Edith Finch was great. Dear Esther, also, pretty darn good so far. Definitely beautiful. And I seem to be stuck here. Frick. Okay, well, now I gotta go against the stream. I was trying to get out, but it wasn't letting me. Sure! probably can be a horror game, absolutely. Comedy horror absolutely exists. And horror and tension are fully manufactured, so if it scares you, it scares you. Can I please? Can I please? Can I get out of the water yet? Mom, I want to get out of the pool! It's cold! I made a mistake going this far down the river, but you know what? I was having a good time while I did it. Thomas was alone. Okay, I'll add that one into the list as well. Okay, finally, I'm free of the grasp of the flowing water, and we can continue to walk on land this time. And look at these pretty pictographs that somebody before has drawn. What is this supposed to be? Pomni lore? Comedy horror. Yes, comedy horror. Sorry. Should enunciate a little better. Actually, if you like comedy horror, the best game, the absolute best game for comedy horror would have to be The Upturned. It's a phenomenal game. And if you liked The Company, the multiplayer game The Company is made by the same developer. Was it something Roblox? I don't remember the name right. Frick. It's because I'm on the spot. Anyways, same author made it. Zeekers. Yeah, Zeekers Roblox. They did a great job of The Company, but they put so much more writing and love and silliness and some truly horrific moments in The Upturned. Cannot recommend that game enough. Maybe one of these days we'll do a replay of it. We've been doing here and there, sparsely once or twice a year, a replay of a game I played early on in this channel. So maybe we'll do that. I think I'd like to get around to Resident Evil 7 first, though. We'll try to get our way through Edith Finch first before we even move on to Resident Evil 7, though. It'll be a little bit before we get to that, too, so that's fine. I actually kind of panicked a little earlier today, like about an hour before the stream, because I realized I didn't have anything lined up to play. I wasn't even sure what to play. Don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of games on the backlog. But it's kind of one of those scenarios where I've got so many games on the backlog that I get decision paralysis. Ooh. Ew? Also, ooh. Interesting. Can't go up there. Pretty. So it very much so was kind of like that, Icor. It was like, okay, what is something we talked about recently that I actually need to play? And this was.
This is a drowned man's face reflected in the moonlit waters. It can only be a dead shepherd who has come to drunk drive you home.
Oh. All right. Can I see myself now? Is this deep or is this shallow? It's really impossible to tell. What are these weird cryptic drawings of chemical compounds on the walls? That one might be caffeine for all I know. I've got no clue. Yep. Can I drown in this one? Or are we just going to sink to the bottom of this one as well and just peacefully subside down here? Maybe I'm dead now. Maybe that's what happened when I slipped down that cave, is I died. Which is why I'm able to just live underwater now. I don't know. Possible. Can I get out? Please? Please? Thank you. There we go. But, I mean, I do still have to figure out, like, longer games to play. Rather than, like, you know, 1 to 2 hour short games like this. Behold, Damascus... Fancy? Damascus is... fake? Faken? Taken. 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 Okay. Taken. We've all agreed on taken? Alright, Damascus is taken. And someone's in here drawing circuit boards. With the natural lichens of the wall. And squid creatures. I'm gonna end up meeting Cthulhu. I did not expect this to turn into a Lovecraftian game. A little tired of Lovecraftian games right now, thank you very much. Actually, you know what? I also want to make a conscious effort to not call them Lovecraftian anymore and just say cosmic horror. Away from being a city. You know, that's fair, Rashi. And of... and it shall be a fungus heap. Yep, that's what I'm sticking with. It shall be a fungus heap. Tendrils. Nope, that's not right, Einsamler. That's not accurate. Sorry, it's fungus heap. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so I'm not completely burnt out on cosmic horrors. It's just, of the ones we've played and of cosmic horror as a concept in general, it is getting a little tired on me. Much like, yet another haunted house type games. Just follows a very similar structure every single time. You can kind of predict where the plot goes and where it ends, and I get tired of being able to fairly accurately predict the plot ahead of me by 3 or 4 steps. I really love games that subvert my expectations. I love games that employ subversion as a technique. Earth Sphincter. That's the exact reason you don't like scary movies, is because they become predictable after a little while. Whoop, there we go. Into the Earth Sphincter. Okay. Gonna break another leg. 2 legs now. Oh. There's a whole underwater city down here. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Looby! Can I actually just swim up? I can. I'm supposed to go to whatever that is, but I'm gonna go up instead. Oh, no. Game says no, don't do that. That's fine. Go back down. Oh, there we go. Oh, I didn't know it was a temporary exploration thing. I should have seen what that was. I think it was a gurney, like a hospital gurney or something. Very lucky to continue to survive these falls. Pretty incredible. Either that or, as I said before, I am in fact dead. Okie dokie. Oh. Oh my. That was weird. That wasn't just for me, right? That was all of you? Okay, we all saw that together. That was funny as heck. I do get that with horror movies, though, with how they kind of become a bit predictable, their pacing, etc., etc. And there is an addiction to the horror genre that you get as you progress into it more and more, and you explore the different themes and continue forward. And that addiction is very much so the same as, like, thrill-seeking in general. You want new, you want exciting, you want more of it. You want to get that dopamine rush, but a different type of dopamine rush each time. So, occasionally, you get... Thank you, Munsnake. I appreciate you, friend. Thank you very much. You seek that dopamine thrill, and it fades out eventually because everything just kind of like fades into itself and is same no matter what. I had that going very strongly for me mid last year, where I was chasing like horror movies, just trying to find like a good one, you know? The thing is I've seen so many, and the kind of what I search for is not really that common, and it is in a sense a bit of a cosmic horror. One of my favorite books of all time, and one of my favorite movies based on that book of all time, is Annihilation. Incredible book, incredible movie, and horror on a level that just makes all other things feel cheap to me. Now, this is me. Everybody's experience is a little different, right? I like how, I think this is supposed to, like, resemble an eye, and I like that a lot. So, I'm afraid he's gonna start talking again if I keep moving forward. So, trying to find movies that kind of give me that thrill, that existential experience. It's rare, it's hard, and you can't find it.
I sat here and watched two jets carve parallel white lines into the sky. They charted their course, and I followed them for 21 minutes until they turned off near Sanford and were lost. If I were a gull, I would abandon my nest and join them. I would starve my brain of oxygen and suffer delusions of transcendence. I would tear the bottom from my boat and sail across the motorways until I reached this island once again.
What? I thought you hated this island. House from 1977 in Japan. I'll write that down. I'll visit that later. I'll check that out. But, like, so many, like, good horror movies to hit theaters. Well, so many horror movies to hit theaters properly are cheap, revisited thrillers. You know, like, just tropes done over and over again. And there's nothing wrong with tropes. They're tropes for a reason. But it all becomes so same and so watered down over time that you can't wait to experience the thrill of finding another Annihilation or Midsummer or Event Horizon. Because they're so rare. And everybody's taste is different. Like, those are movies to my taste. May not be the same for you. Would I recommend them? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're incredible. I don't know about remakes, Zed. It was like what it was maybe wasn't fully truly realized, but it was really good. And I don't think, who knows? You know, it doesn't hurt to try something again, because the original will still always be there. It's like The Thing, you know, the movie The Thing. Great movie. Probably one of the pinnacle horror movies of all time. And then they made a sequel to it and a prequel to it, and they're both pretty hot garbage to try to recreate the original. But that doesn't mean The Thing doesn't exist anymore. So you know what? Yeah, if they wanted to try to remake or make a better Event Horizon, I'd give that a shot. I would. I shouldn't just poo-poo something like that because it was suggested. I'm sorry. What is this place? I'm on the other side of whatever this radio tower is. My legs aren't broken.
We shall begin to assemble our own version of the North Shore. We will scrawl in dead languages and electrical diagrams and hide them away for future theologians to muse and mumble over. We will send a letter to Esther Donnelly and demand her answer.
What?
We will mix the paint with ashes and tarmac and the glow from our infections. We will paint a moon over the Sanford Junction and blue lights falling like stars along the hard shoulder.
Okay, I feel like at this point it's starting to try to tie something together here, and I'm only kind of getting like the vague wisps of what it is. There's references to drunk driving. There's references to a lot of people dying on certain speedways, on certain... Should I go this way or should I go that way? There's references to certain people, like, dying in specific ways, that this island is kind of becoming a bit more of a metaphor than an actual island. And maybe that's what it was this entire time with the whole kidney stones reference. This island is a place where people go to die, is what I think I'm starting to draw from this. And we see this again. So I'm wondering if this was... No, because that's a defibrillator. I mean, complications during surgery happen? Maybe the narrator did pass away from his... No, I don't know what the narrator died from. Anyways, yes, this game is progressively becoming more and more of a metaphor. I'm still trying to piece together the cryptology of it. Okay, so there were two paths that hello! Hello! Are you real? Are you a person? Are you a statue? First other visage of another human I have seen. I don't know, there was that one figure-looking thing with a lamp, but it could have just been a post. For all I know, this could be a post. It might not actually be a human. I don't know. Okay, we'll slide down these rocks. Go back this way again. That was the first to experience an actual enemy in this game. Just suddenly, like, boss fight, Kraken pops out of the ocean, defeats the entire purpose and message of this game. Gotta fight Kraken now. The Kraken is the true representation of the kidney stones, and the battle of trying to survive them because you can't pass them for some reason. I don't know. I've actually never seen BoJack Horseman, if I'm honest with you, Guardian Fox. I think I've seen like a few episodes sparse here and there, but I never actually watched it through and through. Can fight the Kraken or pass the kidney stone. Oh boy. You know what? Pass the kidney stone. Seems like the greater challenge to me. And I'm always up for a challenge. Let's see. But I mean, in reality, people have died from kidney stones. That is not a... It's not definitely not common anymore. Yeah, see what I mean? A lot of references to car crashes, drinking and driving, etc., etc. A lot of weird cryptographic messages that might make more sense on a second pass through, but currently do not.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac. The
So
leak
who
of
does
air
Esther
conditioning,
represent?
brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been traveling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
What secret messages? Things like that written on the mountainside, and like that smaller one below it. When we were closer to it, you kind of see it looked a little bit like a circuit board. There hasn't been anything like related to a decrypting key or anything that I've been able to spot out yet, so I haven't been able to translate it, so to speak. Now we're being sung to by the sirens.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Okay. Was this your letter to Esther? So yeah, now I'm trying to figure out, like... I'm currently actively trying to figure out who Esther is and what they represent in all of this. Because that's what they were just talking about, was they were writing a letter to Esther to make changes to this causeway that apparently was causing so many accidents. If I'm picking up on it correctly. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Swear to God, if I get jump scared by another goddamn seagull. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah, I do like to solve things out loud as I'm thinking them through. I'll typically ask for hints if I need a hint to something, but when it's something like this, I'll take my time and get it figured out, or, you know, maybe towards the end of the game it'll be handed to me. Excuse me. I am recovering from a slight illness. Someone on the aeroplane decided to share with me. It's not the vid. I was tested for that, thankfully. Just your run-of-the-mill funk. So I'm trying not to lose my voice here. Yeah, how very kind of them. And now, all week long, I've been wearing a mask, just like, you know, COVID times. So that I'm greedy. I don't share diseases. I keep them all to myself.
Hatchback, tires blown and sparking across the dimming lights of my vision. I'm running out of painkillers, and am following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads from a crumpled hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
It? The hearts? Okay. Alright, well there's the figure that we're approaching. You probably do have to play it at least a couple more times in order to really get, like, the cryptography of it done. Solved. Hey, no, I want path that leads to that person. Don't deny me this. Don't you dare, game. Game is actively denying me this. God damn it. Okay, fine. 21 times, I think it said? But, like... There's a limit as to how much you're supposed to try to defibrillate a heart. I think 21 is probably past that point. I think you probably have a crispy fried bacon heart by then.
Paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Hey! But there was a person here. Fibrillation of 20. You're right. You're right. I am out of my field on that anymore. And as he was proceeding on his journey, yeah. In fairness, when I was in school to be learning to be an EMT, they never said any specific number of times you're supposed to stop trying to jumpstart the heart. They just said the more times you jumpstart the heart, the less likely it is, and if it does happen, the heart's gonna have a harder time keeping doing what it do if it do come back. Not that you should stop trying out of life over death, but sorry, what's the message I'm trying to convey here? Is my message is don't make hearts into bacon. Okay, we've seen these messages before.
If only Donnelly had experienced this,
Whoa.
he would have realized he
Purple.
was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Gotcha. Well, what's that saying? No man is an island?
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air.
Jesus. Okay, so are we still talking about kidney stones here, or are we talking about your broken and infected leg? Or both? And where the hell are we? Is this a bunker in Normandy? What is this place? Is this the German coast? I mean, that view, though, is incredible. Carve out the bad flesh because he has an infection in his leg that he broke and had no way to properly treat it. And it came to pass that as I made in my journey And was... Okay, well, I can't quite read that. Let's try again. And was your... Okay, can't read it. That's okay. We'll read it in a moment. This game was only supposed to take an hour and a half, but you know, my special skill is I'm really good at making short games last a very long time without even meaning to. It's a talent, really. Great for content production, I'm sure. We're going to go take an ad break, which, if you've never experienced an ad break before, it's when dissonant whispers try to tell you to buy things that you shouldn't buy. So instead, get up, walk away for about 4 minutes, and come back and don't buy nothing. Okay. See you soon, friends. Then we'll read whatever those dissonant whispers written on the cliff walls are. Welcome back, everybody. I hope the old gods didn't convince you to do things that you shouldn't do. Anyways, let's get back to Dear Esther, shall we? Yeah, so lot of discussion of broken bones and kidney stones and car crashes and alcoholism and cigarettes, I don't know, bad lungs, etc., etc. Tada, hello. Or tada? Sorry if I mispronounced that, friend. Welcome. Yeah, so far it's been a very beautiful journey, and I'm kind of only just beginning to assemble together the storyline of everything that's happening here. And, you're right, it is a very melancholic walk, and I do like melancholy as an emotive substrate? Sure. Does a very good job of that. Warbird, hello. Speaking of, emotive substrates, I guess dancing is an emotive substrate. Should have seen that coming, with Warbird entering the room. Alright, sure, here we go. Since we're just beginning back into it, let's do it. I don't remember what this one is. I'll dance to it. Yay! Haven't done that one for a little while. How was that? Yeah. So, screw positivity. It's overrated. That's a mood, I suppose. But no, like melancholy really is a great way of, and very underused way of kind of like expressing just realism, reality as we know it. It's without being too depressed and too overly emotive about it, because we're a society of extremes in emotion. So, in reality, when you're hurting and wounded or depressed, you're not expressing sadness, you're not expressing frustration or anger. My mouth was open, that's gross. You're not expressing like the big emotions, you're quiet, you're somber, you're not doing anything. You're just kind of coping with your reality, and melancholy is a great way to express that. So yeah, fully agree. Oh my gosh. Poor bird! It's still calling me a chicken. Why do I keep getting called a chicken? What the hell? Who is messing with the ecto hand and making it call me a chicken constantly? Good lord. But yeah, anyways, so I don't really remember what we were talking about before. It's a little lost on me. Something. Yeah, all right. That's okay. We'll just resume back to the game, yeah? Oh no. Wait. I remember what got lost in translation here. Where to go? Grayscale, a wheel of fate. You got it, Grayscale. Sorry, I got that got swamped away with the dancing. Here we go. Spin it to win it. What's it gonna be? Drink some water. You know what? Actually, probably a good idea with the way my voice has been cracking half of this stream. I don't mean like the giant squid. Happy hydration face. I don't know. Because all right. So, where we left off, I was trying to read this message as we crawl up this wall here. Yeah. We've kind of just been discussing things like horror as a genre and just, I don't know, best ways to express stories as through a medium of video games. walking simulators and what they truly represent to us. My journey was from... I can't read this. I can't. And if I try to go any further than this, I'm going to fall off the cliff. And he was proceeding on the journey. So that's what that was. Needs more hydration. I'm hydrated. I'm good. I drank a lot of water, actually. So high tide should be here because the moon is up. But areas that look like they should be covered aren't quite. We're just ever so slightly getting closer and closer to that radio tower.
Gull perched on a spent bonnet, sideways, whilst the sirens fell through the middle distance and the metal moaned in grief about us. I'm about this night in walking, old bread and gull bones, old Donnelly at the bar gripping his drink, old Esther walking with our children, old Paul as ever, old Paul. He shakes and he shivers and he turns off his lights alone.
Oh, okay. I do love that painterly effect it has on the water, though. It's very pretty. Ah! Arco Barco! Thank you, friends. Very kind of you. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Oh, heck, weenie. Let's see. No, I appreciate how well this game actually does capture, like, a very realistic look to everything. It uses natural beauty to emphasize the world around us without, like, going overly vibrant or supernatural. Damascus. Have we reached Damascus? I'm glad to hear, Arco.
I have run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
Hell yeah. I support that. And no, I don't believe I saw that, Logus. We have arrived at the radio tower and we become bird now.
Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We've always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
Oh. Okay. We were the jump-scaring seagull the whole time. Sorry. It's beautiful, it really is. It's just what popped into my head.
Come back.
Are you gonna make me start over again? Is that what's gonna happen here? No? Yes? Okay. Oh, so no music during the credits? There's beautiful music throughout, but you're not going to give us music during the credits? I got to sit here in silence with my own thoughts, and I got to think about what I just experienced? Well, fine. No, that was beautiful. It's a beautiful game. And there is a lot to kind of unpack with it, and I think you are correct in saying that you probably have to play this game 2 or 3 times and visit other areas and hear different lines of dialogue as you're wandering through it to kind of get like a bigger picture strewn together. But I also feel like I probably hit the nail on the head, more so in the aspect of the island being a representation of the deaths of all those before. But I think it's probably a little bit more broad, not broad, but I think it's a little more narrow than that I can't quite narrow down without a little more context even. But yeah, overall quite beautiful. Originally written in 2008 as a Mirror's Edge. Oh wow, goodness, good lord. Is it Guilt? Is it Guilt? I'm not going to say no, but I don't have much in the way of pointing towards a sense of guilt. Maybe in regards to one was an alcoholic. One, I really can't say. But I'm really glad that that they did actually remaster this game. As you can see, this was made in 2017 Unity. They did a big remastery of this, and they did a really good job. They made it friggin' beautiful. I kind of wonder how the original looks. I can probably look on that later, but yeah. So that was Dear Esther. There's a bigger story to unpack there. So let's do it now, shall we? Let's go ahead and just dive right in. No, I'm kidding. Check it out for yourself. I'll look into it more via YouTube if you don't want to buy the game yourself, etc. I'm sure there's people who've digested this game over and over again. It kind of give you the lay of the land. Don't look for the super generalizations of anti-intellectual YouTubeisms. Look for people who are actually passionate about this game and had some real in-depth commentary to it. The dev's commentary version is really good too. Interesting. So I mean, there is director's commentary available, so we could go through that as well. Well, we, as in removing me, you could do it if you have this game and you want to do that. That's enough for this particular stream, though. But don't worry, we're not done tonight. No, not quite. I do have